Hey everybody, welcome to Ravens Escape Crafts. This is Sue, your host and owner and operator of Ravens Escape Crafts. Welcome, or welcome back if you've been here before. What's this new hat? This is those the Caron Cupcakes, the Chunky Cupcakes. This is the hat. This is not necessarily the hat that the pattern was for. You can either do it like this or it can be long. I really like it. I think it's cute. And then the puff ball. The puff ball is removable. So if you don't like the puff ball, you don't have to have the puff ball. It is removable. So happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing today? I don't know if I'm going to get this posted today. I'm trying to work on it today. But I thought I'd pop in. And I try to get an angle where you could actually see. I'm still working on my sweater. Thought we'd sit and chat for a moment. See how you guys are doing this fine Wednesday. I'm doing pretty good. Yesterday I was frustrated. I'm not even gonna lie. I was, but I did get. Okay. Before we get into that, let's talk yarn stuff. So I'm still I got this hat. I made this hat yesterday. So I just needed a break from the sweater for a minute. And so I did this. I made it all, if you can see, I did a little bit different stitches in it. I think it's cute. Like I said, the puff ball is removable. I just have I'm going to put a button in here to attach it to. But obviously I always wash my stuff first and I can't wash the puff ball. So I'm going to put that away for now so it's not bobbing all over my head. So I made this hat yesterday. I've been still working on my sweater. Look at the colors. I just absolutely love it. I think this is going to be so pretty. And we'll talk yarn first, then we'll talk other stuff. So I normally do, like, this is how I do my cuffs. Back loop only, front loop, And my only thing is, like, I don't love the edge. It always seems to make such a, I don't know, it just doesn't look perfect to me. I mean, it's fine. Obviously, when you wear it, it like stretches, so it looks good. It looks okay. But for the rest of so that's how I did my cuffs for the sleeves. So I do a decrease all the way down. For my hexagon. Sorry. Hold on. There you are. But this one, I normally do the same thing, like around the bottom and then up and around. I do the same kind of this. And I've done, I think probably about 10 or more like that. And I never loved like the look. It's okay for the cuffs for the sleeves, but I didn't necessarily love it for the trim. So I'm trying something a little different. It would probably look a little better if it was a solid color, but I'm doing it that like back post, front post for my trim. And I'm going to do like the 5 rows like that. What do you guys think? I think it's going to look nice. So that's what I'm working on. I'm doing my front post. I'm going to do 5 rows. I did a row. So I finished it, and then I did a row of single crochets around like as a base for the trim. And then now I'm doing the double crochet front post, back post. See, that's what it's going to look like. And then the inside. So I think it's going to give that same like sort of ribbed look, but it'll have like the edge is so much nicer, you know what I mean? I don't know, we'll see. I'm working on it. And remember I showed you guys those the wizard hats, the gray tweed ones that I made? Sold out in a week. I sold all 3 of them. I made 3 of them. I thought 3 is plenty. No, it wasn't. So I do have yarn coming from Hershner's because the ones I made were the Big Twist Tweed, which of course was Joann's. So And I did find it on Hirschner's, and they did have sales and steals and stuff going on over the weekend. So I did order some more balls of that so I can make more of it. I'm thinking I'm going to make, I have some just light gray. It doesn't have that tweed, but it's a light gray color. I think I might see if I can make one or two of the wizard hats just in the plain gray, because, you know, I think it'll still look, I mean, it's obviously a gray hat, you know what I mean? So I think I'm going to try to see if I can make some of those. I also sold out of my multicolor, the one witch hat I make, which is like white, green, orange, purple. It's like all the Halloween colors. I sold out of those, so I have to go see if I have more of that yarn. I'm not sure if I do. Oh no, I might have to order more from Hirschner's. Oh no. Because those are all made with the Hirschner's Celebrate in the sparkle. There's like, they have a whole Halloween, they have like all the different colors of Halloween ones, and I've made hats out of 5 of the different colors, I think 5 of the Halloween colors of the witch hats, and they sell well. So anybody out there who's looking for something, and I've sold them all times of year, so, you know, don't think that you have to put them up just at like Halloween time. I've sold witch hats January, you know, March. I've sold witch hats all the time. They sell well, so it's a good product if you're selling that. And like I said, the ones I make are a little unique. Like, it's my own pattern. I started, so the original ones I made, I used somebody else's pattern for, but then I made a lot of changes to it. Let's put it that way. It's a good pattern. Let's not even get it twisted. It's a good pattern, and when people ask, I refer them to her, because I don't write my patterns down. I don't do patterns. I alter things in my head, and I keep it, that's where it stays. And like I said, I got hers off of a YouTube tutorial. So if anybody sees my hats and says like, oh my God, where did you get the pattern for that? I send them straight to her, full credit. Even though mine are a little different, well, at this point, mine are quite a bit different, but it's the same style hat. Hers didn't work for me all the time. Like, it wasn't, I fixed a few problems I found with it. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying other people, it might just be in the way I crochet. I mean, it was a good pattern. It was a little floppy for me when I first made the first one, and the brim was not stiff enough, so I changed some of the stitching, some of the, like, the counts and the patterns and stuff of how I do it to make it work for me. Like I said, maybe, I don't know if it can't be the yarn, because I've used a couple different yarns with my pattern and it works. But it could have been the yarn I was using when I first did it. It could be my tension, or, you know, hook size or whatever. But like I said, I make mine a little unique. So, you know, you could definitely go off a pattern or make it your own. But like I said, witch hats do sell pretty well. I've sold quite a few, probably more than, except for washcloths, more than any other thing I make. So yeah, so it looks like I got some serious witch hats to make in the future. Here I was working on cold weather stuff. We're still selling tons of witch hats, so I'm gonna get this sweater. I need to get this sweater done first. I took a break yesterday to make a hat, and I need to get this sweater done so that I can, and then I can just like book with some stuff. I gotta go through what is sold out on my Etsy shop. There's a couple things that I didn't even realize they sold out of. I gotta re-up. So yeah, so what are you guys up to today? What's your Wednesday going? What's your Wednesday feeling like? Yesterday, yesterday, hold on. So yesterday, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to keep crocheting while I talk to you. I'm going to try this time. So yesterday, yesterday started out innocent enough. Yesterday, I thought, okay, well, okay, let's pause button on that. So, as I'm telling you guys have been, anybody who's been following me knows what's been going on with my health and what's been going on with stuff that, with stuff involving my health. So, but if you're new here, I'll just summarize. So, basically, I don't have health insurance, and I haven't had health insurance in a while. So, it's very expensive. My husband has it through his work, but it's very, very expensive, and the deductible is ridiculous. So I didn't see a point. Well, fast forward to end of August, I was dealing with cellulitis to my feet for what I found out was probably 2 to 3 years, and it really got to the point where I was finally septic, and I have huge wounds all over my legs and feet, deep ones that have been there for a very long time. And so I ended up in the hospital, where they, gave me antibiotics and stuff like that. And we are on the path to healing, but there's a lot of damage done. There is a lot of damage to the skin and even down into the muscle of my feet and legs. And I let it go really, really long. And so, like, in summary, when they sent me home, they wanted me to have wound care and go to all these doctors and stuff. And I simply said, I don't have insurance. And of course, the visiting nurses and stuff cost a lot of money. I can't afford that. So I ended up on Adult Protective Services, who sent me to get in this waiver program. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get assistance. Again, they referred me to the state's website to get health insurance, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's $500 plus a month, plus a $7,200 or $7,500 deductible, which is just way too much. It's too much money. And then to get no deductible or low deductible, it's around $800 to $900 a month, which is like my mortgage payment. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. It's too much. I shouldn't say it's not worth it. My health is worth it. Yes, I understand that. But we simply don't. I mean, I have a husband, 2 teenage boys. We simply don't have that kind of cash. I mean, just groceries alone and electricity and everything costs us an arm and a leg. I don't have an extra $900 a month. I don't have an extra $500 a month. And then plus a deductible. I just don't. So I've been working on getting, trying to get help, trying to get some sort of plan that would actually work for me, especially since what I'm applying for is like a temporary. It'd be very temporary, only while this condition keeps going. Would be insurance that would cover what I would need to finish this until I can walk again and stuff like that. So Monday I kind of got pissed off because I had been last Wednesday. Anybody who's following me, last Wednesday I went to the doctor, and she wanted to send me for a lot of different things, CAT scans, tests, this and that, and I was like, well, no. And then she's like, you really need to go to wound care, you really need to see a podiatrist. And I'm like, again, you have to understand, like, that's a lot of money to be working out all the time. You know what I mean? Like, $100 and some every visit, and I'm supposed to go see wound care and endocrinology and internal medicine and podiatry, and then I'm supposed to go for this CAT scan with contrast and then another CAT scan, and I just don't, it's too much. And then of course possible surgeries, and And like, I without insurance, I just can't. So, well, of course, so the doctor was, she was very nice and stuff like that. Well, Monday I get a call from a nurse from St. Luke's, which is our health network. And she's like, oh, your doctor reported you to the social workers because you don't have insurance. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. I understand I should be getting better care. I would love to go, I would love to be able to get the care I'm supposed to get and get all these tests done that everybody wants me to get done and get all sorts of other things done that, and, but, at this point I need to limit as to what I'm going to do and what I can afford. You know what I mean? So she's like, well, I'm just the nurse. She's like, the social worker's going to be calling you, but I'm assigned to your case, so I'm going to be calling you every other day and to find out how you're doing. And I'm like, I'm trying to relax. I'm trying to heal. I have a long road ahead of me of healing, regardless of if I get to doctors or not, And now you're going to call me every other day. For what? Like, what is that benefiting me? You know what I mean? Like, is it benefiting me in any way except to just irritate me and then I can't, you know what I mean? So, that's all I'm going to say about that for now. Hold on. That set me off on Monday because, like, my frustration is like, okay, so I was at the hospital, right? And then, of course, Adult Protective Services is contacting me. And so she's been calling me off and on, off and on, off and on. And then I have, and then, of course, they wanted me to apply for Medicaid, so I had to deal with the Medicaid lady. Then that got rejected, so I got sent to PASS. So now that's a whole separate thing. So that I've been having to apply for, and they needed all kind of information. And then the lady from Adult Protective Services said I needed to sign up for this waiver program. So I signed up for the waiver program. So I've been dealing with PAIEB, and I get calls and phone calls and emails and stuff from them. And then they had to come to the house, and then the Department of Aging, and they had to come to the house. And then now this other, I forget I don't remember the name. But they're involved with this waiver program too. They needed like 250 pages of financial stuff. So I had to get that. And then they're calling me and emailing me and texting me and so I'm getting all like bombarded with like, and then my the Adult Protective Services person's calling. And now I'm going to have this nurse calling. And now I'm going to have the social worker calling. I'm like, so Monday night I was a little irritated. And then I didn't sleep too great. I didn't, my feet were killing me because I was upset. And Sunday night I didn't sleep real great because my feet were hurting me. And I don't know what that was all about. But then, so then yesterday, and I'm not going to get into exactly what happened because it was a family member and I don't want to put it on blast all over. Do you know what I'm saying? But the part that I can tell you is, okay, the part that got me upset and the reason, so I was in the hospital and the very last day of August for a whole week into September. And I was really sick. Like I was septic and all that jazz. And these wounds on my legs have been going on for a very long time. At my feet. So they're not going to heal immediately. You know what I mean? They're a long-term healing process. And I was told that at the hospital. Nobody's been, trying to tell me it's going to be quick. You know what I mean? And then, of course, I haven't really been able to walk right for a long time. So even once I can get the feet healed, it's going to be a while until I'm really, like, mobile. I'm going to have to do a lot of, like, walking again and stuff like that, slowly, because I haven't been. So, but at this point, was told just last week, don't put your feet down. Don't walk on them unless you have to. Like, you can walk on them to go to the bathroom, but any other time, put your feet up. In fact, she wants me to have them up above my heart, because they need to heal. Like, we need to get they still have what they call edema. They're still swelling and stuff. And then, of course, since they're open, they're what they call weeping. So we need to get that to stop so that they can start healing, and they're not healing right because of the edema. So I'm not supposed to walk on them. I'm not supposed to put them down. I'm supposed to keep them up as much as humanly possible to try to get better. And that's what I was just told last week. And yet I get and I understand that this is my issue and not everybody's issue, but friends and family and stuff, nobody seems to get that, how serious this problem is, how long of a term this is. It's not like a cold. I'm not just gonna get better. This is a long healing process. And my mom doesn't get it. She's always like, oh, how are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm okay. And she's like, oh, really? You're okay now? No, I'm okay I'm okay, but I'm not better okay, Oh, and my one girlfriend, I talked to her and she's like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Sitting here. I'm not allowed to do anything else for the foreseeable future. It still hurts so bad to step on my feet. I sit here. I don't even go in the kitchen. And then yesterday, so I'm invited to an event in early November. And like I said, I'm not going to say a word about what it is on here because I don't want somebody seeing this and getting upset. But I get, oh, are you coming? I've been trying to tell them, no, I can't go. Oh, are you feeling better? No, I'm not feeling better. I have a very long road of healing to go. I'm getting my diabetes under control. I'm getting my sugars under control. I'm getting other stuff. We're doing everything I can. I'm changing the bandages. I'm dealing, but these are serious, deep wounds. Some of them were a half inch into my foot. They're going to take time to heal. They're going to take a long, 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 long time to heal. And then it's well, you could go in the wheelchair. Okay. I'm not supposed to have my feet down. I'm not supposed to walk. I have a wheelchair that I borrowed, and I understand that I could try to go, but how miserable am I going to be? And if I am miserable, I can't exactly just get in the car and go home. I can't drive. I have to rely on somebody else, So, I don't know. I'm... somebody asked me the other day, one of my very good girlfriends, she said, doesn't it bother you, mental health wise, that you're just sitting there? And I'm like, I'm not going to lie. It's frustrating. Okay. It's frustrating when you see stuff I can't do a lot of housework stuff. And I used to do a lot of housework stuff, and things are not done now to the way I want them, and I just have to deal with that. I'm not going to say anything because I can't go do it, and my husband and kids are doing their damn best to clean this house and keep it in order, and it is not. Sorry, it cut off in the middle of my battery, or my storage was full. So as I was going to say, so basically, does it, I can't, like I said, the house is not kept the way I would like it, but I have to be okay with it because I can't do it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to be okay with things just not being the way you would want it. But it's still frustrating, like, you know, like I can't really go out in the kitchen because of the tile floor out there. And I have these wraps all over my feet, these bandages, and it's slippery. And even I have like grippy socks, but then I tried that and they're so I don't even really go out in the kitchen. So like if I'm hungry for a snack, I can't really go get one. If I need a water refill, I gotta wait till somebody gets home. It's frustrating, yeah. I mean, you know, and there's days where I sit here and I get super upset about it, but I really, really try to just keep a positive attitude. I mean, you know, sometimes you just got to deal with what you got to deal with, and that's where I'm at right now. And, you know, so it doesn't do me any good to sit and be like, look at the mess and go, oh, I wish I could fix that. I wish I could clean it up. I wish I could decorate for Halloween, which is what I really want to do. You know, it doesn't do me any good. It's you know, and I'm not saying I don't have days where it does really bother me, but for the most part, I try most days to just like chillax and okay, you know what? I can still crochet, I can read, I can watch TV, I can play video games, I can do my coloring, I can do, you know, there's a lot of stuff I can do sitting here. And my body needs to heal. That's the best thing for me, is to sit here and just let myself heal. You know, pushing myself is only going to make things worse, take longer for recovery, blah, blah, blah. And so like, you know, like I really try to keep like a good attitude. And then of course stuff like that is what upsets me. Cause like, you know, you're not actually taking the time to understand how serious the, like, you know, I guess I feel like you're not really taking an interest in me and my well-being if you're not taking the time to understand what I'm going through. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, oh, you're better, right? Like, no, I'm not, you know? So, like, and then that's what upset me, because, like I said, I was like pre-frustrated with all this, and then that happened, and I'm just like, I can't, you know what I mean? And then it's like, you don't understand what I'm going through. You don't understand how bad the wounds on my feet are. I have pictures if you really want to see them, but they're really, really gross. And they're still really, really gross. You know, and like I said, I mean, that's the hard part for me. So anybody out there who's dealt with, you know, a not quick fix kind of illness or anything like that, I will know what I'm talking about. You know, it's this, like, are you better? Are you okay now? Like, no, I'm not okay. Like, I still can't walk. I still can't even really ride in a car or get in a wheelchair or whatever. So, hold on. So yesterday I was just in a funk. I just could not get out of this funk yesterday. Oh my goodness. I was just like, nobody understands what I'm going through. I'm so freaking annoyed. Like, you know, everybody wants me to do stuff and be fine, and I'm not fine. You know, so yesterday was tough. Today I'm in a lot better mood. I don't know. I just got in a funk yesterday and I couldn't get past it. And it's like, you know, like there's so many things I want to do, want to go to. I was hoping, you know, I was going to start feeling a little better, that at least I could go places with the wheelchair, if nothing else. But obviously, you know, going to the doctor proved that even in the wheelchair, it is rough on me to go out and do stuff. That I really need to sit and heal, and, you know, and I need to do what's best for me. So I'm doing that, and I have a much better attitude today. I'm working on this beautiful sweater, and then I'm going to make some witch and wizard hats, and at least that's what I plan on doing next, after I get this done, and relaxing and trying to heal. One of my friends is supposed to come over this week. I don't know when. I haven't heard from him, but he's supposed to come over and visit. My friend Chris. He made me a beautiful, oh my God. I know I shouldn't have had this, but it's okay. I don't really care. He made me a chocolate cheesecake from when I was in the hospital. Oh yeah, you did. Now, I did not eat the whole thing. I shared with my family. I had a few pieces, and most of them were little pieces, because I know I'm not supposed to have a lot of sugar. But they were so good. Oh my God, he made such a good freaking cheesecake. Chocolate cheesecake. Oh my God. So he's coming over. When he dropped it off, he had to just like drop and run. So he was supposed to come over and visit with me a little bit so we could chit chat. And I miss him dearly. We used to laugh. Him and I laughed so much when we worked together, and I absolutely, I miss him. I miss working with him. He's one of the few people from my old job at a car dealership that there's a couple people that I miss from there. There's a few people that I've kept in touch with, and he's one of them, because we had such a blast when he worked there. He is such a character and such a fun person, and so I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully he'll come over one of these days and we'll just have a few laughs, and that'd be so nice. But yeah, so I didn't want to get like too negative. I just wanted to let you know what's going on. You know, like I said, it is hard being stuck here, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to do stuff. I mean, obviously I'm still running my Etsy business, you know, with help. A lot of help from my family, but I'm still making the stuff and making the videos, making the posts, making, you know what I mean? I do all the online stuff and the transactions and stuff like that. So, you know, I deal with all the customer stuff and the paperwork stuff. Like I was just doing some tax prep stuff that I had. Normally I try to do some of my tax paperwork like quarterly, but since I hadn't felt good this year, I hadn't done any of it. I hadn't done any of my accounting at all. And for someone who was a bookkeeper for 17 years, naughty. You know, you let it get behind, and then, you know. So, I sat down, I think it was last week or the week before, and spent a couple days pushing papers and entering numbers and doing spreadsheets and things like that, getting myself caught up to date so that, you know, as we get closer to end of the year, I'm not, you know, at Christmas time trying to navigate buttloads of paper and invoices and, you know, stuff like that. So I did get all my paperwork organized, spreadsheeted and stuff up to, I think, the end of August, early September. So at least that'll, thank God, that's a load off, because I was like, oh my God, I haven't touched it. It's like piles of paper. And so that'll, you know, that worked out. So yeah, so I did get a whole bunch of Halloween stuff. We got the Halloween candy for trick or treat, so I'm excited about that. We got some decorations. We gotta get some decorating done. And then we'll see, you know, maybe I'll get to show you some stuff in the house. I got a little bit started, what I could, and, we got to pull more out. We're big Halloween people. I don't know how much we're going to do this year, because I don't know that I want to go overboard, but, at least outside we have to do. And my husband's working on a couple of little projects for the front yard. So I'm excited about those too. So I hope you guys are all having a great day. I think I'm going to end it here. So how do you like my new hat? Let me know. Let me know what you guys are working on. Let me know what if you guys ever want to, like, you know, anything you want me to hear me talk about, comment below, you know what I mean? If you want to see more, like, projects and how I do stuff, if you have any questions on, like I said, I basically am trying to show you guys the little bits that I shouldn't say little bits, like I'm trying to show you guys I'm showing you guys like as if you know how to make a hexacardy, or like I try to give you guys like little tips and tricks of like, I'm assuming you already know how to make a hexacardy. I don't know if you do or not. There's tons of tutorials out there how to make them. If you so desire. So, like I said, I just try to give like some tips and tricks on things that I've figured out or things that I'm doing. So if that's more stuff you want to see, or if you need any help with stuff, just let me know in the comment section. You know, let me know what I could do. If there's stuff, like I said, you want to talk about, you want to ask me, you want to hear about, let me know. So with that being said, thank you all for coming. I appreciate each and every one of you. I always do. Thank you so much for listening, and choose love every day. Bye, everybody.